Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Before I start, I want to mention that the YouTube does give creators like me access to the analytics, okay? So I'm able to see which part of my videos my audience are paying attention the most. All right? So because of that, I'm no longer covering 13, 14 different stocks per channel. Okay, I'm gonna cover the ones that are getting the most attention, would happen to be, of course, SPY, Triple Q, IWM, Tesla, Apple, NVDA, Google, and Meta. All right, so let's start off with the SPY. Overall choppy day on the SPY. Overall choppy day. In my opinion, it was definitely tradable. It was trappy all day. You guys can see here we had a false breakout setup. I did actually long the breakout of 428. I ended up getting stopped out there, giving us a false breakout. But because we had a false breakout, that's a bearish setup. So I just wait for the next setup. We broke down my 426.5 level, and I was able to play it level to level style down to 425. Okay, and what happened next after that? We broke down 425 right here, and then a couple of candles later, this is the 15-minute chart, so about 30 minutes later, we recaptured 425, gave us a nice level move back up to 426.5. Actually broke that out. Look at that false breakdown, right back down. You play it level to level, and then what happened again? False breakdown. From trap moves to trap moves to trap moves. You know, if you know how to play trap moves, knowing the false breakdown setup, the false breakout setups, if you're well versed on that, it's going to be very hard for the market makers to try to trap you and trick you, because as sheep style traders, we follow the price action, and one of the things that I preach on this channel is trading with the traps. Okay, so a lot of traps today, overall choppy, but if you're familiar with the false breakout and the false breakdown setups, you should have had a decent day. Okay, so you want to know what a false breakout is? It's when we clear a level. We cleared 428, and then we broke back down below 428. That's a false breakout. And of course, look at this false breakdown setup example. We broke down 425, and then we recaptured 425. All right, playing false breakouts and false breakdown setup will increase your chance at being a successful trader, a profitable trader. Because why? These false breakouts and false breakdowns, they happen because they're meant to trap and trick out retail traders. So when you learn these tactics that the market makers do, you can trade with it. You use it to your advantage. All right? So I hope you guys found that educational and informative. Now, as far as the SPY goes on the daily chart, you guys can see I have this little bull flag here and the blue lines. Okay, that's where my 428 level comes from. All right, so if SPY can actually clear that, no false breakout, but a legit breakout. How do you know a breakout is legit? I'll give you an example. Okay, let's say this line right here is a support level. Let's say it's a resistant level, excuse me. Okay, and then price breaks out above that resistant level. All right, so once we get the breakout, you want to enter longs as it break out. Okay, that's an aggressive play. A less aggressive play is waiting for the back test right here, back test. And if it shows buying pressure, you have to look at the chart and be able to eyeball it to see if there's buying pressure. If you notice this buying pressure, you notice the price behavior is bouncing and there's buying pressure, that's possibly trying to confirm the breakout. If it closed back below, fine. Don't marry the idea. Just cut your loss. But if it bounced and it holds using the 15 to 30 minute chart, that's a good entry point. And usually if the breakout's legit, we'll head up higher, something like that. Okay. So that's how you know a breakout's legit. All right. So heading back down here to the 15-minute chart, heading back down. I felt it was a tradable day. Okay. Now, daily chart. If we can recapture this bull flag, 428, that'll be a good reason to long. Level to level style, of course, to the next level at 429.6. As you guys know, that's a 61.8 fib level from all-time high down to October 2022 low. And the 431 level. 431 level was a low back on June 26th, and it's also my fib level. I have new fib levels. All right, I have new fib levels from the July high down to the recent low in September. Okay, so a recapture of 431 would be a bullish sign. Okay, now I had some people complain, Uncle Charles, you give all these levels, man. What the freak? We got to know what to do with these levels. Some people that ask me to give them analysis, they need instructions for me to tell them exactly what to do or what they should do. And some people, they just want the levels. Uncle, what's the level for this stock? Or what's the level for this indice? And they know exactly what to do with the levels. And like I said, we play false breakouts and false breakdowns. Without knowing the levels, we can't play these setups. We can also play breakouts if it's trending. We play breakouts if it's trending to the upside. We could play breakouts. If it's trending to the downside, you can play breakdowns of support, stuff like that. But you can't play these breakouts and false breakouts and yada yada unless you know the levels. That's why I always give you guys my levels. And as mentioned, above 428, 429.6, and 431, it could be a sign if we clear this level that a bottom is in. We have been bouncing off this orange trend line that has kept SPY in an uptrend for the last year. Okay, and we find buying pressure. Bulls are stepping up where they need to, but they're only playing defense. They need to play offense, which is clear those upper levels that I've mentioned. If it is, it could be a bottom or a temporary bottom at least that favors more upside up to 433. Pivot low from August 18, 435, 436.5. That's 38.2 fib level. Okay, got a gap fill at 438.5, and 441 is around my 51% fib level. Okay, also above 441 would be a recapture of my white trend line, so that would be bullish. Okay, so we play it level to level. You can't play it level to level if you don't know the levels. All right, so above 428, 429.6, and 431, that scenario must be met in order to be bullish. Okay, as of right now, we're still defending the breakdown. We got a breakdown and we're trying to defend it. We're retesting the breakdown level as resistant and we're getting selling pressure. So overall, still looking bearish. However, there needs to be follow through because we're still getting defense at this orange trend line. To break it down, it needs below 425. Below 425, bears are in control with 422-ish. That's the gap fill. 420, 418.3-ish, and 417-ish in play, all right? Those are levels that I have to the downside. Got to stay below 428 and break down 425 for bearish follow through. Below 425, it's a breakdown of this orange trend line. All right, just a reminder. I mentioned in the last video, I might sound a little repetitive here, but consistency is good. Got to keep the message the same. All right? Is that simplified enough for you guys? Does that make sense? I hope it does. And triple Q here, it's looking a little bullish. Interesting, right? Because it's 360.3 level, right? That's 78.6 fib level. We broke it down back on September 21st. Back tested it. Was finding selling pressure, but today we closed back above that. That's a potential false breakdown setup. Tomorrow, as long as triple Q is above 360.3, I recommend to stay bullish. All right, follow through would be to clear 363. As you guys can see, we have an inside daily candle here. This candle's within the range of the previous day candle. A breakout above 363 would be bullish. It breaks the range and put 365, 367 and higher in play. All right, 365, 366.5 actually, 368, and then 370.8ish, 371. Okay, those are the levels above. All right, it needs to stay above 360.3 and clear 363 to be bullish. Now if we break back below 360.3, this false breakdown setup or this breakout, however you want to call it, is not intact. It's no longer bullish. Below 360.3 cancels this breakout. A breakdown of 357 would be very bearish because it's breakdown of the mother candle here based on this inside day candle setup. Below 357 would be very bearish. You want to look to short if that happens with 354.7 and 351-ish below. The next move to the leg down could possibly send us much lower than 351, possibly down to 349 or even lower than that, all right? So remember, above 360.3 is bullish. We need 363 to break out for follow through. Below 360.3 is bearish. We need the breakdown of 357 for follow through. IWM looked like it almost died. Holy moly. As of right now, I have 175.2 as resistant. Needs to recapture to put 176.5, 177.6, and 179 in play, okay? Overall, bearish below 179. That's the big level that bulls need to recapture. This pivot high here at 179 and clear that. We maybe go fill the gap around 180 with 181.6 and higher in play, okay? As of right now, as long as below 175.6, bearish follow through would be a breakdown of 173.5 to put 171.3 and 170 in play. Tesla, we see we get a lot of selling pressure from that 254ish to 255 zone. That's the level that bears need to break out. 253 0.5 and 255. If it can do that, we could get more upside up to 256.5, 258, 261, and possibly up to 263 for the gap fill. All right. Now, if the selling pressure persists, it's gonna have to show some follow through by breaking down support levels, starting with 250, 247, 245. 242 and the critical one at 240.7. Below 240.7, I am bear bias. Apple, some way, somehow recaptured the 172 level. Follow through would be to break out 174 and recapture both 176 and 178. We may get selling pressure around 178, but if it clears bullish, I would favor a pop up to 184 to 182 zone to retest this blue trend line. All right. Now that bounce would be canceled if it can break back below 172. Below 170 is a breakdown of a critical fib level at 38.2 fib level. Below 170, I would be bear bias on Apple in favor of a deeper sell-off. NVDA, we had a nice trade set up in the Discord today. I mentioned to stay bullish above 438 and bearish below 438. That was our equilibrium level. As you guys can see, it worked out very well, popping up to 451.7 high for the day. As from here to be bullish tomorrow, 449 and today's high of 451.7, we can round it up to 452. 449 and 452 are the levels that must clear if NVDA want to push higher, targeting 457.5, 460, and maybe all the way up to 466s, okay? If it fails to break out 449, that's not a good sign, but a breakdown of 445, 441-ish, and of course 438 would be bearish, breaking back down the orange trend line, going back down, possibly down to 435.5, 432.5, and maybe 429.6s. Google, you guys see that descending triangle pattern? It recaptured it, okay? As long as above 134, stay bullish. 134.8 is also support. If it can stay above that, that keeps 136.5, 138, and 140 in play. A breakdown back below 134 would be a false breakout. That would be bearish. Put in 132.8, 131, and 129.5 in play. All right, above 134 bullish, below 134 bearish. Okay, and here is Meta still basing around that white trend line. Is it finally going to break out? We will see. Above 309 would be a breakout. Look to long with 311, 313, 315, 318, and 321 in play. If this is going to be a rejection, it needs to break down support, starting with 305, 302, 300. And below 300, we could possibly head down to 297 and 293, okay? Let's end this with some dark pool orders. Let me refresh this. Wow, okay. So we didn't get that much dark pool orders today, guys. Nothing over a billion. This one is 791 million at 427.3. And this one is 600.4 million at 427.3. That's very interesting because both these orders are around the same level. Look at this, 427.3 at 125 million. If we combine all of that, that's over a billion. So they're being tricky with us. Watch that 427.3 level based on the dark pool levels. All right, guys. Above it is bullish, below it is bearish. Okay, let's end this with the option flow. Hopefully it doesn't malfunction again. We'll filter for 500k premiums or above. We'll look at the big money, and it's overall bearish for the SPY. Triple Q is, wow, it's pretty bearish. Look at all these above the ask. Holy shit. Oh, excuse me, I didn't mean to swear. Yeah, that's bearish for Triple Q. IWM is bearish. Tesla is bearish. Apple is bearish. NVDA is bullish. Oh, okay. Google, nothing for Google. And last but not least, Meta. 100% in the calls for Meta. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know the news is bearish right now, okay? So be careful when the news get too bearish like that. I didn't, I just wanted to cover the charts. It is looking bearish, but I wanted to be objective, okay? We need to get that follow through, all right? You got my levels. You got my setups. Now it's up to you guys to trade it unbiased. Peace.